Hey guys, it's Maundy Thursday, the day before the crucifixion of Christ, the night that Jesus was betrayed to be killed. We read about the events of Maundy Thursday in John's Gospel, chapters 13 through the midway into chapter 18, verse 27 actually. This text records for us in detail the last hours Jesus spent with the 12 disciples, giving us a snapshot of some of the most important things that were on his mind to share with them. John the Evangelist tells us at the very beginning of chapter 13 that Jesus loved his disciples to the end. He loved them perfectly, completely. There was nothing lacking in his love for them. He would love them all the way to the cross. But before the cross, John tells us that he, their Lord, washed their feet as their servant. And he commanded them to love one another likewise. Hence the name Maundy Thursday. Maundy comes from Latin mandate, which means commandment. This was a commandment, a new commandment, he said, a new way of loving that he gave to them on that last night with them. The Gospels are very clear that Judas Iscariot is still at the table with Jesus and the 12. Not only did Judas receive Holy Communion from the very hands of Jesus, but also his feet, the dirt from his feet, was washed by the very hands of Jesus. Judas is then dismissed, and Jesus begins to teach the remaining 11 that he is going to depart from them, but he's not going to leave them alone. Yes, he's returning to the Father to prepare a place for them so that where he is, they may be also. But he tells them, I'm not going to leave you as orphans. I will come to you. He and the Father are going to send the Holy Spirit, the Paraclete, the one who comes alongside, the Comforter. Question that Christians throughout the ages have asked and wrestled with and tried to proclaim the answer to is, why was Jesus going to die the next day? Not just to get us into heaven when we die, but to get the heavenly dove, the Holy Spirit, the Paraclete, the Helper, the Comforter, to get him into the temple of our hearts so that we can live. Jesus tells his disciples, you'll forget many things that I've told you, but he, the Holy Spirit, he'll recall to your mind the things that I've taught you. He says you'll find yourself mistaken and misled, but he'll lead and guide you into truth. You'll be dry and fruitless without me, but he'll bear the fruit of the gospel in and through your lives as you abide in me. He tells them, in fact, you'll be rejected. He wants to prepare them. Just as he, their master, served them by washing their feet, and they are no better than him, so they ought to do likewise, so also he is going to be rejected, and you'll find that exact same experience from the world. You'll be rejected, but he, the Holy Spirit, Jesus says, will come alongside you and comfort you. He tells them you'll feel alone, abandoned, forsaken, but he'll knit you together as a fellowship, a family, my people. The disciples, when Jesus mentions that he's being betrayed, begin to ponder and ask him, is it me? They even point the finger at one another. Is it maybe him? Am I the betrayer? Is he the betrayer? When Jesus says that it's the one who receives the bread when he dips it, the text tells us explicitly that he dips the bread, hands it to Judas, and tells Judas, what you're going to do, go and do quickly. And it tells us that all of the disciples have no clue what that even means, and he's just told them. They're all concerned with, am I the betrayer? Peter even tells Jesus, I'll follow you wherever you go. You just lead and I'll follow. But Jesus tells him explicitly, no, you won't. In fact, you'll deny me 3 times before the sun rises. You see, Jesus wants them to know you'll think too highly of yourselves. But He, the Holy Spirit, He'll convict you. He'll prune you. He'll remove the pride from your hearts. And He'll make you like me. He loved them to the end. He loved them so much, and He loves you so much, He loves me so much, that He died so that He could set you free, so that He could set us free by His Spirit and fill us with His Spirit. This evening, I encourage you to read the events of Maundy Thursday and ask Jesus to cleanse your heart and life by the purifying holiness of His Spirit, and to fill your heart and life with the self-giving love of His Spirit. Blessings to you all.